May the Triple Gem bless you all. The Dhamma sermon based on the book The Explanation of the Factors of Enlightenment from the series of Dhamma books authored by Most Venerable Rerukane Chandavimala Thero is titled by Mekala Niwena Bana. Today we are respectfully invite our Venerable Sandalankawe Kalyanadassana Thero to deliver Dhamma sermon. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Today Dhamma sermon is sponsored by Mr. Saman Kumara along with his wife and daughter. So now we are respectfully invite Venerable Sandalankawe Kalyanadassana Thero to deliver Dhamma sermon. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Saṅghāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Saṅghāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi saṅghāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi saṅghāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi saṅghāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
Tatiyampi saṅghāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
සරණාගමනං සම්පුන්නං
ආමබන්තේ
පානාතිපාතා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
පානාතිපාතා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
අදින්නාදානා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
අදින්නාදානා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
කාමේසු මිච්ඡාචාරා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
කාමේසු මිච්ඡාචාරා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
මුසාවාදා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
මුසාවාදා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
සුරාමේරය මජ්ජපමා දට්ඨානා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
සුරාමේරය මජ්ජපමා දට්ඨානා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
තිසරණේන සද්දින් පංචශීලං ධම්මං සාදුකං සුරක්ෂිතං කତ୍වා අප්පමාදේන සම්පාදේ තබ්බං.
ආමබන්තේ සාදු සාදු සාදු.
සමන්තා චක්කවාලේසු අත්‍රා ගච්ඡන්තු දේවතා සද්දම්මං මුනි රාජස්ස සුනන්තු සග්ග මොක්ඛදං ධම්මස්සවන කාලෝ අයං බදන්තා. ධම්මස්සවන කාලෝ අයං බදන්තා. ධම්මස්සවන කාලෝ අයං බදන්තා. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. පංචිමානි භික්කවේ බලානි කතමානි පංච සද්දා බලං විරිය බලං සති බලං සමාධි බලං පඤ්ඤා බලං ඉමානි භික්කවේ පංච බලානීති. With respect to the most venerable Mahasangha, dear devotees and Dhamma friends, today as usual we are delivering you another Dhamma sermon related to the 37 enlightenment factors. Dear devotees, as you all know, we are delivering this Dhamma sermon series related to the book written by the Rerukane Chandavimala Mahanayaka Thero. The book's name is The Explanation of the Factors of the Enlightenment. Now, this well profound, well-written book. The Rerukane Thero has given us the insight on the factors of enlightenment. Now, as you all know, those factors are again subdivided into 7 categories, namely the Chattaro Satipatthana, the 4 establishment of mindfulness, and Chattaro Sammappadana, the 4 right strivings, Chattaro Iddhipada, 4 roads to power, and Panchendriya, 5 spiritual faculties, Pancha Bala, 5 spiritual powers, and Satta Bojjhanga, 7 factors of enlightenment, and Ariyo Attangiko Maggo, the noble eightfold path. So dear devotees, in last episodes, last Dhamma sermons, in this series we have discussed the few topics. First one we have already covered is the Satara Satipatthana, so also known as Chattaro Satipatthana, the 4 establishments of mindfulness. And the other one we have already covered is Chattaro Sammappadana, which is named as 4 right strivings. And the third category is 4 roads to power, Chattaro Iddhipada, also has been covered in order to gain the knowledge regarding those Iddhipada. And in last couple of episodes, now we have covered the 5 spiritual faculties, that is also termed as Panchendriya. Now here, today, we are going to dive into the Pancha Bala, Pancha Balani, also known as the 5 spiritual powers. Now these are the same as the 5 spiritual faculties, like Saddha, Viriya, Sati, Samadhi, Panya, but now in this context it is more strengthened and more reinforced as powers. So dear devotees, now we should know what are these powers, that the names are the same, the Saddha, Viriya, Sati, Samadhi, Panya. The 5 mental powers are the power of confidence, the power of striving, the power of mindfulness, the power of concentration, and the power of wisdom. So dear devotees, now you might be wondering that we have been covered these topics in last Dhamma sermons as well, but there we have discussed as Panchendriya. Now in here these have become Pancha Bala. Why they are termed as Pancha Bala? What is called the power of confidence is the confidence that which is powerful enough for unshaken by defilements, like greed, bearable of the pressure of defilements, and forceful to destroy and defeat defilements. See, now this is what given in the Rerukane Thero's book. Now first one under the 5 spiritual powers is the confidence, the Saddha Bala. Now Saddha Bala means now it is the unshaken power. Now when there is a defilement, or when there are defilements in your mind, if you are strong enough to suppress them, now you are unshaken with those defilements, then that means that you have the power of confidence, power of Saddha Bala. So now that is why now once the spiritual faculties further strengthened by the practitioner into the powers, then that is very important. Those are very conducive to the attainment of enlightenment. So dear devotees, now why we need the power? You know, when the enemy is more powerful, you also need powerful weapons. Suppose that there is a place, now there is a door which is guarded by your enemies. Now who has that? The very strong and very sophisticated weapons, very weapons with new techniques. So then what you gonna do to pass that or to cross that door, to enter into that particular place? Now you also should have some very highly sophisticated weapons, strong enough to defeat those enemies. So likewise, now this nirvana enlightenment is, let's consider that is a place which is guarded by the Mara and his retinues. So then not only the door is, or the place Nibbana is guarded by these Mara's retinues, but they also hold quite very strong weapon. So what is the weapon? What are the weapons that you have in order to defeat those retinues of Mara? So these are the weapons that you should possess with you, that what we known as 5 spiritual powers: Saddha, Viriya, Sati, Samadhi, Panya. So the confidence, normally that in under the topic of 5 spiritual faculties, we have also been discussing with you what is the confidence faculty, or faculty of confidence, Saddha, Indriya. So there you should have the faith on the triple gem, and also you should have the faith on the Tisikka, so that the practice, how you should develop Sila, Samadhi and Panya. Now dear devotees, now when you come to the this level, there are no much disturbances, because now you are unshaken by those defilements. Now in the context of spiritual faculties, still you are might be distracted by different defilements, maybe cravings or the greediness, also you might generate jealousy in your mind towards others. Now likewise, now there might be defilements. But now when it comes to the spiritual powers, if you have developed your confidence, also called the Saddha, into a power, then that you are unshaken. So you can withstand with those, whenever the defilements arise, now you can be unshakenly you can carry out your spiritual practices. So now why we should defeat these defilements? In Mahapadana Sutta, Lord Buddha has given us what are termed, or what are the retinues, who are the retinues of the Mara. Now there Lord Buddha has given us Kamate Patamasena Dutiya Arati Uchchati Tatiya Kuppi Pasate Chatutti Tanha Paucchati Panchami Tina Middante Chatta Bhiru Paucchati Sattami Vichikichate Makko Tambocha Attamo Labo Siloko Sakkaro Micha Laddocha Yo Yaso Yo Chattanam Samukkanse Parecha Avajanati Esa Namuchite Sena Kanha Sabbi Paharini Nanam Asuro Jinati Jetwa Labate Sukham. Now dear devotees, now this is a long verse, but anyway the Lord Buddha has given what are the retinues of Mara that we should defeat. Now let's discuss one by one. Actually the Rerukane Mahathero has described them very precisely, so we can easily understand them. The first thing is the Kamate Patamasena. The first retinue of Mara is the Kama. Kama means the sensual desire, sensual pleasures. Laypersons, especially as laypersons, not only laypersons, but who have gone forth and become the bhikkhus, they also have, this particular hindrance in them, the sensual pleasures, sensual desires. Now, especially when it comes to the lay people, they are willing to have these pleasures, the sensual desires, sensual pleasures, like pleasure of having a spouse and children and wealth. Let's take a particular lay person. Now he has to earn much to foster his spouse and children, and he has to maintain his wealth, so he has to make some effort, he has to earn the wages, so he has to strive much. So the thing is, when due to his striving, due to his spending his time in earning the means to survive, that means he will reduce the amount of time to develop his spiritual life. But anyway, we are not telling you to become monks or come to the monasteries and carry out the meditation throughout the whole day, but now you have to balance this, right? Meanwhile, you are earning for your wages, earning to maintain your lay life or household life. Meanwhile, you have to allocate some time for the development of spiritual life as well. So, in fact, Rerukane Mahathero has given like this: they are not allowed to merge into the path to Nibbana and obstruct the path because of these sensual pleasures. Now this sensual pleasure is one of the retinue of the Mara Sena. So then the second one is the discontentment, especially when it comes to the bhikkhus or monks. We need for the 4 requisites. We call the Sivpasaya. So what are they? Especially the Chivara, Senasana, Pindapata and Gilana Pache. That is given in Aryavansa Deshana, Aryavansa Sutta. The monks or the bhikkhus, now they should be content. Contentment should be developed in them by having any kind of robes or by having any kind of pindapata, by having whatever the available senasana, the dwelling place. Now they should be delighted with that. So this is what we call itaritara chivara santutti, itaritara pindapata santutti, itaritara senasana santutti, and the last one called bhavana ramata, the whatever available, and engage in meditation. Despite the available requisite, whether that may be very harsh environment, that may be the senasana might be located in a place where environmental conditions are very harsh. Sometimes now that particular bhikkhu might not get adequate amount of pindapata or the food, and also the robes may be very coarse and difficult to bear. But anyway, now this particular bhikkhu should make his mindset now to content, now to become satisfied with what he has, now what is available. So that is how now this contentment, santutti, should be developed. So then that discontentment, if any particular bhikkhu, especially if that particular bhikkhu cannot satisfy what is available, then that bhikkhu is a person who has the discontentment. So then that is another retinue of Mara. So when you come to the lay life, especially dear devotees, now in your case, now suppose that you are always search for very sophisticated life or luxurious life. Now that means you have to work much harder and harder. That means sometimes you might have not found, now you might not be able to find adequate amount of time for your spiritual development. So this contentment, especially santutti, regarding what you have, what is available, that is a very good quality. That attitude you should develop in you. Whatever the requisites available, whatever the needs that you have, but you have to be content. You have to satisfy with those available means. So then, dear devotees, then especially now I would like to tell you, dear devotees, now what is most important, whether that is to collect the means throughout the whole life, or by collecting some amount of means, now by earning some amount of means and eradicate the craving and all the defilements, and if you can attain the enlightenment, or if you can attain the Nibbana, that is more worthwhile other than collecting more and more or earning more and more means to your life. So now you have to develop these both counterparts, now both two aspects. That means you have to develop both aspects, now the lay life or household life as well as the spiritual life, especially when a particular person has gone forth and became a monk. Then that will be very easy, because now there is no household life. He has converted his life into the homelessness. Then always he has to be on that track, on that path. Always his or her, what you call the process or lifestyle should be conducive to the Nibbana. So dear devotees, next the Rerukane Mahathero has given us the third type of retinue of Mara. The third Mara Sena is the Kuppipasa. Kuppipasa means the thirst and hunger. You know, bhikkhus especially, what they have is, now they don't normally, the especially bhikkhus or the monks, they do not have professions. Now they don't do the jobs. So what they do, they ask for the requisites, especially the lay devotees. Now they offer their offerings to the bhikkhus. So now Lord Buddha has given us some advice in the Dasadhamma Sutta. The one advice given is, now we have to always reflect as Parapatibaddha me jivikati. Parapatibaddha in the sense, now our life, especially bhikkhu life, bhikkhuhood is dependent on the others, because now we can't maintain our life alone without the offerings of the lay devotees. So always we have to keep in our mind that we are dependent on the lay devotee. So suppose dear devotees, now if you are a dependent on someone or some others, then what you should keep in your mind, you have to respect them. Dear devotees, by receiving your offerings, by accepting your offerings, now especially the bhikkhus, now they should maintain a proper lifestyle according to the code of discipline which is given by the Lord Buddha. So that is how we treat you, right? So dear devotees, now as the bhikkhus, as they carry out the meditation, as they deliver the sermons, now then that is the way especially the monks treat the lay people. So as you offer the offerings, the requisites required for the bhikkhus, you give the robes, you give the foods or alms food, and also you give the senasana, and you offer the things for the maintenance of the senasana as well. So that is what you can do in order to protect the Mahasangha, in order to develop the bhikkhu order. So then in return, what the bhikkhus can do, they are not doing any jobs or professions, so then their duty and responsibility is, now they have to carry out the monastic code. So they have to always stick into the monastic code. So that is the way they don't become the debtors. So that is how Lord Buddha has given us the advices. So dear devotees, now this affliction, especially which is suppressed the monastic, is another giant of the retinue of Mara. Affliction means the thirst and hunger. So kuppipasa, that is very difficult to bear up nowadays. especially to the temples and all the other monasteries, lay devotees offers jhana. Think about the Lord Buddha's era when the Gautama Lord Buddha was alive. At that time there were many different other followers, other teachers in India or in Jambudipa. So then it was very difficult to find the alms food. Sometimes it was very difficult to find the robes to wear for the bhikkhus. So then at that time they were having very minimal requisites. So that in fact we can say that the minimalism is practiced on those days. Nowadays also bhikkhus can practice the minimalism, not only for the bhikkhus, now especially for the lay devotees, now you also can practice the minimalism. That means only the required amount of requisites or needs is being earned and maintained, all the unnecessary things put away. So dear devotees, now this next Marasena is the tanha, the thirst of seeking. That is also we have been discussing that if a particular practitioner's or seeker's mind is oppressed and he has made himself feeble by this tanha, thirst of seeking, so that is another Marasena. So that is very difficult to suppress. Why, dear devotees? Now during this endless sansaric journey, we have always practiced the lobha, dvesha and moha, especially the lobha, the sensual desires. Now that has not been suppressed. Now in some certain life, now maybe we might have become ascetics in certain past lives, but anyway when you come to the whole sansaric lives, so that the most of the time now we have developed this sensual desires further and further. So that is why because it has become an taint or canker, the asava. So this kama asava, the kama tanha, that is very difficult to suppress now because that we have been practicing that thing throughout the whole sansara. So then next thing is the laziness and sleepiness. Now when there is laziness and sleepiness, now it suppresses the striving, right striving. So in order to eradicate the defilements in your mind, now you should strive, you should develop the energy. We have discussed why we need the energy. Chattaro sammapadana padam virya. We need to develop in us. So in order to suppress the unwholesome states, in order to develop the wholesome states in us, now we should possess very great amount or high amount of energy or striving. So the opposite is the laziness and sleepiness. Now when there is this tina midda, it hinders our spiritual life or spiritual paths. So then that is considered as one particular type of Marasena, retinues of Mara. Then according to the Gatha what I have recited earlier, next is the fear. When a particular monk or bhikkhu who has gone to the forest monasteries, it is quite isolated and there are no people around. So then that particular bhikkhu should carry out his meditation without getting frightened by different sounds and noises. So if that particular monk, especially that monk who dwell in the forest monasteries, now they should not fear on these sounds and especially the wild beasts and all. Why? If that particular bhikkhu is scared of these quite loud noises and sounds, and also for the beasts, sometimes snakes and different animals, now it is a disturbance. That particular bhikkhu is distracted from his meditation, during his meditation. So then this fear is another marasena that you have to suppress. Now we have discussed several retinues of Mara, so few more to cover, that is given in this Rerukane Mahathero's well written book. Now Rerukane Thero has given like this way: one who lives fear without gaining the taste and happiness of seclusion in the mind, arises doubt. So doubt, the vichikiccha, now that is one of the very strongest marasena that we have to eradicate. Doubt is a hindrance, vichikiccha is hindrance which obstructs the spiritual life. Now dear devotees, now how to dispel, how to avoid these doubts? Now you have to read, you have to listen to the Dhamma sermon, you have to read the doctrine. So then, and also you can discuss with the bhikkhus and or any other well-educated, well-read person, or with the Kalyana Mitta. So if you have any doubt regarding the Lord Buddha and Supreme Dhamma and the bhikkhu order, the Mahasangha, and also if you have any doubts regarding the practice Sila Samadhi Panya, you have to clear out those doubts by discussing with the well-read person, by discussing with a bhikkhu who has got the high level of knowledge regarding these aspects. So then dear devotees, now these are different kinds of retinues of Mara that we have to suppress. Dear devotees, sometimes in certain practitioners it arises the makko and tambo. Makko means the depreciation. Gaining even a little virtue from this principle, having intoxicated from that arises depreciation, which devalues another's worth. That is another giant of the retinue of Mara. Now that is how Rerukane Thero has described the depreciation. When that particular person carries out the meditation practices, when meanwhile developing his Sila, Samadhi and Panya, sometimes because of the pride and conceit, he might depreciate others. So that is especially his teacher and elders, that they are depreciated by that particular practitioner. So this is what we call the makko, and stubbornness also develops along with that, the depreciation. That means now once the particular person becomes stubborn, he doesn't obey, or he or she doesn't obey to the advice or to the Kalyana Mitta or to the bhikkhus or to even the Lord Buddha's doctrine. Because of that little virtue, then in him arises stubbornness, the nature of not respecting to those who are worthy to be respected and obedient to those who are worthy to be obedient. So these are very bad qualities. Now we have to suppress, we have to eradicate, we have to extirpate them from our mind, otherwise there is no gaining of enlightenment. So then two more, it is given in this profound book, that is a giant of retinue of Mara, virtue of having intoxicated from gain, fame and praise becomes self-exaltation, attukkansanaya, that is termed as self-exaltation. He praised himself, and also meanwhile he suppressed the others. It is opposite is the next, that is contempt of others. When there is what is called as that is given in Pali as Attu Kansana Paravambana. So he praises himself, he flatters himself, but he suppresses the others. So then that is very bad. Now, so these are the different giants in Marasena. So we have to eradicate them, we have to defeat them. So unless we defeat these giants in Marasena, we can't attain the enlightenment. So the Blessed One has given these, Blessed One has advised us. So to develop the power in us, in order to suppress this retinue of Mara, we should develop these 5 spiritual powers: Saddha, Viriya, Sati, Samadhi, Panna. So dear devotees, as I told you earlier, now if there is a door, if there is a place which is guarded by the enemies, or which is surrounded by enemies who has strong weapons in their hands, you can't enter into that particular place bare hand. So then you also should possess some very strong weapons with you in order to defeat them. So now, who are these enemies? Now those are not outsiders, now those are not external enemies, dear devotees. Now these enemies, now they are found within us. So then Rerukane Thero has precisely described now regarding this point. It is easy to be protected from the enemy who attack from the outside. This retinue of Mara attacks the persons who are willing to realize Nibbana not from the outside but from within their minds. Suppose, dear devotees, if you have somehow started the practice of meditation, practicing the Samatha and Vipassana and Sila, and also to develop the Sila Samadhi Panya, then you should have that idea. Now it is very difficult to suppress these internal enemies. So external enemies, now we can easily defeat them by attacking them. But the thing is, now when the enemy has arisen within us, it is very difficult to attack them. Sometimes now especially the devotees who have been practicing Sila Samadhi Panya for over the course of maybe 10 years, 15 years, still they have not identified these defilements in them. Suppose this manner, in this way, now you can realize now some people they might be distracted by this craving. Now they think now this craving or this greediness as a wholesome thing. We have seen some people, whenever they carry out a meritorious deed, they are their meritorious deed is in line with craving. It is like this, especially when it comes to the Saddha, confidence, the confidence of those who are performing meritorious deeds, expecting wealth, properties, fame or praise, is a confidence fitting to craving. Confidence in line with craving, which is the desire of wealth and properties. Now dear devotees, now that is not the Saddha. His Saddha or his confidence in line with craving. Now why he carries out the meritorious deed? To exalt him or herself. So now to develop his pride. So then that is not worthwhile. That is not a confidence that enables to destroy craving. So now that craving will be developed as that particular meritorious deed being carried out, because now that is in line with craving. So dear devotees, now it should be understood that the confidence of the general folks who are performing meritorious deeds such as generosity, is not the power of confidence of the factors of enlightenment. You know, whenever some devotees, when they practice the generosity, whenever they offer the alms food, now if they show off themselves, now if they need to highlight themselves, then that means now there may be some amount of merits because they have given something, but still that is not in Dhamma it is called, there is no mahatpala mahanisansa, there is no that the full amount of merits that particular devotee can't be obtained by performing that manner. So dear devotees, now then you have to be very careful, you know, the power of confidence, especially if a particular seeker or practitioner has developed the confidence, as it is a power of confidence as saddha bala, then that seeker or practitioner is skillful enough to suppress craving in something pertaining to the noble usages or Arya Vansa Dhamma. So when there is craving arisen, or when the craving arise, this particular seeker or practitioner is unshaken. So that is why it is called the power. So dear devotees, now today we have discussed about the 5 spiritual powers. So what are the 5 spiritual powers? They are Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, Panya, the confidence, striving or the energy, mindfulness, concentration and the wisdom. You know, out of these 5 spiritual powers, now the Panya, the wisdom is the most or foremost one. So then in order to develop the wisdom, you should possess Saddha, Virya, Sati and Samadhi. So the one who has not even one power, it is quite difficult to develop a power. However, the one who has one power, it is certainly easy to develop the other 4 powers as well. So dear devotees, now as a beginner, initially or primarily it might be very difficult task to develop the saddha as a power, but don't give up, right? Whenever we have learned certain things from our childhood, so then by overnight we couldn't do anything. Even riding a bicycle, we had to struggle for days in order to develop that skill in us. So this is some kind of skill that we have to develop. So dear devotees, now we invite you, don't give up, always try to develop your Sikha, Sila, Samadhi and Panya, and along with you can develop your Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, Panya, the Pancha Bala, also known as 5 spiritual powers. So then now for development of these things, nothing else to do, always you have to contemplate. Now you have to carry out the meditation, especially Samatha and Vipassana. No need to hesitate, no need to worry when there are distractions and disturbances. Now disturbances arise in a practitioner, in a seeker. So then don't give up. This persistency should be maintained. Now also you have to develop the confidence. So time to time you have to reflect on your spiritual life. Now what is the progress of your spiritual powers or spiritual faculties as well. So then in one day you will become able to develop your spiritual powers into the very strongest powers, which will be very strong powers in order to eradicate this retinue of Mara. So the Rerukani Mahathero has given a wish at the end of this context. So I'll quote that statement at the winding up of this Dhamma sermon. May all make every effort to dispel the retinues of Mara who have entered the individual's minds and bring again and again the sufferings of birth, decay, disease, death, and the suffering of hell, and attain the perfect peace of Nibbana. May the Triple Gem bless you all. Dear devotees, now finally let's transfer the merits that we have earned today from this Dhamma sermon. In recognition of this noble act, heartfelt contributions have been made by Mr. Saman Kumar of Gampaha, his wife Mrs. Champika, their daughter Harshani, and all others involved. May Mrs. Champika, who is currently unwell, be blessed with a swift and complete recovery, along with enduring good health. May every member of the family be free from illness and enjoy strength and vitality. We also extend our prayers for the full recovery and lasting health of Mother W.M. Somawati and Mother Jayawati. May Mr. Dinesh Saparamadu and his entire family be blessed with robust health and ever-growing prosperity. Furthermore, may the Senate Group of Companies Colombo 7, Apigo Company and Aplova Company thrive and prosper endlessly. Moreover, may the abundant merits accumulated through this noble deed be dedicated to all your departed loved ones, including the late A.L. Somapala, A.L. Vasanta Kumara, K.D.G. Saparamadu, Aryavati Saparamadu. May they all attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana and eternal peace. May peace, wellness and happiness illuminate your life always. May the Triple Gem bless you all. Akasatta Chabummatta Devanaga Mahiddika Punyantang Anumoditva Chiran Rakkantu Sasanang. Akasatta Chabummatta Devanaga Mahiddika Punyantang Anumoditva Chiran Rakkantu Desanang. Akasatta Chabummatta Devanaga Mahiddika Punyantang Anumoditva Chiran Rakkantu Mamparanti. Abhivadana Silissa Nichang Vadda Pachayino Chattaro Dhamma Vaddanti Ayuvanno Sukambalam Ayurarogya Sampatti Sagga Sampatti Mevacha Ato Nibbana Sampatti Minate Samijjatu.